What's up, you guys, and welcome to the second live episode of the Ask Alex Show. And I have my two co-hosts with me doing this ride with me yet again, Mr. Jeremy Branch from the Pop Culture Nihilist, also from Lucid Memory, and also we got Ian Elliott Carter back with us from Ian Elliott Carter from YouTube channel. How are you guys doing today?
Man, it's great. It's a beautiful day here in Florida, and I'm glad to talk nerd stuff with my friends and brothers.
Yeah, and I'm good too, man. I'm giving a little bit of a sneak peek to what the studio is going to end up looking like. Just first time doing any sort of production from the new apartment. Well, outside of some audio ads that I do for work, but this is the first time my new place has been seen on camera. It might sound a little echoey as we continue to, get it tightened up a little bit, but I'm glad to talk to you guys. I actually, right before we started, I said, I don't think I have time to do it. But when I saw the notification come through, I was like, let's go. So I jumped on and ready to talk some nerdy stuff, guys.
What
Awesome.
a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I'm sure you mean that.
It was, man.
Oh man, every time we do this show, it's so much fun. I love the chemistry that we have, and we just jump into it. And I love you guys, the viewers of this. I know you guys have been asking for a live show of this show, and we're going to continue on that bandwagon to have that live show. But if you want your topic or question on the show, it's very simple, guys. Send me an email at theaskalexshow@gmail.com. That's theaskalexshow@gmail.com. If you submit your topic or question here, more than likely you'll be answered here on the show. This show will definitely be broken up in post after we get done recording the live. So if you want to section out some of the videos, you'll see some of those on my channel. And also, if you want to listen to the show on audio version, we have it on Spotify as well. So by the time this show is over, you will hear it on Spotify as well. And before we jump into any topics, we want to thank our sponsors, Mr. and Mrs. Blurred Up Creations. Listen, if you type in, by the way, I have not opened this box just yet, but if you type in Momentum and Blurred Creations promo bar, you get 15% off each purchase. They have a lot of dope anime t-shirts,
Nice.
dope anime pants, and also apparel. So I would check them out. If you are a viewer of mine and you watch our show consistently, just type in the word Momentum. You get 15% off, and I'll have a special video me unboxing this soon once I get it.
That box looks nice. Yeah.
So, thank you. We want to thank you once again, Blurred Up Creations, for sponsoring Momentum Media. Do appreciate you guys. Now let's go ahead and jump into our main topics for today. We don't have anything off the top, but I think with the head title of this show, you guys are really gonna love what our opinions are about some of the things that have happened literally within the last week or so. So this first question comes from Miss Iris Peoples, a returning guest. I hope she joins us live at some point.
Yeah.
Right. Hey guys, so after the live Netflix special of Selective Outrage, Chris Rock basically told his story about what happened and how he felt about the Oscar slap. He also addressed a lot of different things like Meghan Markle and also other controversial beings in this particular special. However, Will Smith has decided to respond, at least through his she writes through his team. He basically says that he is embarrassed by the response, that he did try to reach out to Chris Rock, and Chris Rock to this day still has not made the attempt to mend things with Will Smith. Was this the perfect way for Chris Rock to respond, or do you think that this could have been handled differently? Well, thank you for your question, Iris. So if you guys don't know, literally, if you haven't known, it's gone viral on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. Chris Rock did his live Netflix special, which was lively taped, called Selective Outrage, which is a dope title for his special. And it was shown, I believe, last Saturday. And it aired last Saturday. And A lot of people keep parsing out the Will Smith part that happened towards the end of the special. Now, before I continue, Jeremy, I know you saw the special. Ian, you saw the special too. Okay, so we've all seen the special, and
Correct.
we're going to definitely give our breakdown of the special. But I would say before I answer the question, I thought the special was amazing. It's I don't think it's better than like Tambourine. I think that's Chris Rock's better special, and also I like how they did it live. But even when you watch the special, there's a part in it where he's actually talking about Will Smith, where he messes up the joke and he acknowledges, "Oh, I messed up the joke."
The beauty of being
And I
live.
thought the title was very brilliant. There's one joke that he said where he said that a lot of us will love to listen to Michael Jackson, but then we get pissed off when someone throws on R. Kelly. I thought
Selective outrage.
that was selective outrage. I was just like, that is like the perfect play on words because he's right. You throw on Michael Jackson, who allegedly did some things, and then you throw on R. Kelly, where we got him on tape doing things. And it's crazy. So, like, people love to be outraged about a lot of different things. He brings up cancel culture. He brings up Meghan Markle. And I think that was probably his best bit where he said, Meghan, you didn't Google these people before you started dating this guy. Like, they invented racism, and now you're surprised because they're racist towards you and your child. Like, and I even said the same thing when this happened. I was like, wow, this is very true. But to answer your question, Iris, do I think this was the best way for Chris Rock to respond? I remember doing a video with Jeremy about Will Smith's response, and also remember doing a video with Ian on his channel about the slap when it happened. My thing is this, and I said this in the last video that me and Jeremy did. Chris Rock had every right to respond in the way that he responded. He did a little digs here and there, but he never gave a full response. And me personally, him waiting a year and waiting for Netflix to send him a check for how he really felt, I think was the most brilliant move he could have ever done. Because if he would have did it like on social media, there's not really a check for that. There's no monetary gain for that. However, I will say on the other side of that coin, I think as men, he should have like potentially reached out to Will and said, hey,
Nah, not until the stand-up special.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we were on the other side of it, he could have reached out to Will and said, hey, this is how I feel about it. But when I really look at it, I got embarrassed in front of millions of people. I mean, people outside of the country saw me get slapped. And like one of the things that he said,
I think they're reporting on it on Uranus too. I think it went everywhere.
Exactly. Like this thing, this thing had like the slap is still viral to this day, and this happened almost a year ago. The March 27th, my birthday will be a year from now when it happened. So for me, I think this was the perfect way to respond, and he was publicly embarrassed. And I think one of the best bits of that whole segment where he was like, listen, I didn't get caught up in any entanglements. Yo girl started it. It's like, how do you, which was so perfect. He was like, how do you allow your wife to cheat on you? And then she's going to interview you and say, hey, I was sucking somebody else's dick. How does that make you feel? I'm like, what? And like,
I mean, in other words, that's exactly what happened. Like they just that was
it was weird, bro.
Exactly. So I think the response was amazing. I think the special was definitely on par on some of his other specials. I don't think it was the best, but I do like it. Ian, I haven't had you on the show in a minute, so I would love to hear your opinion about the special. And also, do you think this was an appropriate response to Will Smith, or could have been handled differently?
I first want to say that Chris Rock is one of my favorite comedians of all time. I do think this was actually better than Tambourine. I think that was one of his worst. This one wasn't his best, but like, man, I think me and Jeremy talked about this. It's hard to beat Bigger and Blacker. It's hard to beat
Bring the Pain. Yeah.
It's hard. Like he's got a lot of stand-ups, like maybe 7. I think 4 out of the 7, I'm just like, yo, these are some of the best I've ever seen. So this one, I felt like it was more of just like him venting, which I'm just like, yo, get your stuff off, man, because you deserve it. You deserve it. And like, it's just somebody's venting sometimes, and including myself when I vent and I'm upset, it can come off funny, So what I liked about it was, first of all, I'm just so tired of the selective outrage in general. So I thought this was the perfect name of it. I've said this for a while. I even said when I saw the name of the stand up, I looked at my wife and said, "Don't I say this all the time? Like two people on Twitter can say something. It's a whole headline. Oh, people said this. No, the majority of people are not thinking this, but
Yep.
you want to make it a
Right,
headline.
right.
It's but
Right.
what I liked about this though, and there is a lot of selective outrage right now that oh, why can't Chris Rock get over it? What do you mean why can't he get over it? He got slapped, like Alex said, he got slapped in front of billions of people and responded a year later. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You can't tell the victim how to react. You
Right.
can't. And now it seems like, from what I'm hearing, those reports, Jada and Will are acting like the victim now. Like, oh, he's obsessed with us. No, he's just responding. That's
Right.
all he's
Right.
done.
Right.
And yes, I think now after he responded, yes, I think now they can move past it. Will did apologize. I believe his apology. There's another evil person involved in this, Jada. But I think now it is time to get past it. But however Chris Rock decides to handle this, that ain't nobody's business. Like, we can think what we want, but he is the victim in this. He can respond any way he wants. And I think he responded perfectly with getting a check to talk about it. Like, and the real winner of this fight is the guy that got paid to respond. So, and no dig at Will. I still love Will Smith. I think he's a good guy. I think he did mean sincerely his apology. But it's probably a bigger lesson. Like, maybe you should handle your mental health stuff before you go out there in public. And also maybe you should not do everything so perfectly, or not perfectly, but publicly, and not give such a perfect persona of yourself, because we all have flaws. And Chris, boy, he dug into them. He dug into
Oh
them.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
enjoyed
he
it though.
did.
I think it was great. And yeah, and as I said, it's not his best stand-up, but like if you're looking for his best stand-up, don't just look for like a stand-up comedy to have fun with. Like, we barely get them, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Jeremy, same question, man. Like, what did you think of the stand up? Do you think he responded perfectly? And also, let me ask you, do you think this is the time now where they can just move on from this point?
So I've softened my stance a little bit on it. I think Ian makes a lot of good points. It's like everything can't be the best. Chris Rock was, and I don't know that he still is, but if anybody asked me who my favorite stand-up comedian was, I would say Chris Rock for many, 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 many years. And yeah, when he was in the height of his abilities in the mid to late 90s, he was just a force. He was an observational comic that made jokes and talked about things that were going on in society. He was one of the more observational as opposed to more personal stories. The thing is, nowadays, because we're all getting the same information at the same time, a lot of stand-up specials have become the same set list. Like, you gotta hit on cancel culture, you gotta hit on wokeism, you gotta hit on social media, you gotta hit on trans people, because these are the issues of our day. But everybody's got an asshole and everybody's got an opinion, and they all stink. Like, I've heard every version of a take on these things that you could possibly say about it, and that's not Chris Rock's fault. It's not Chris Rock. I don't know how you remedy that other than you just share personal stories and personal anecdotes, which, to be fair, Chris Rock did a lot of that as well. There was the whole bit about his daughters, which I didn't think was all that funny. But I really did, the more I think about it, there were some really standout bits. The Meghan Markle thing was fantastic. The selective outrage is things that, like, they're reaffirming, but I also feel like it's kind of claptrap stuff. It's like everybody kind of feels that way about the same thing. The Will Smith bit at the end was so savage, right? Like, yeah, Chris Rock did get slapped in the face, and a slap will sting for a couple minutes or something. That shit is gonna.
Said he still feels it. Yeah, he feels still summertime in his ears. That was pretty funny.
I have a feeling that this is gonna sting for much longer for Will Smith. This stand-up special will live on in infamy for eternity, and as far as Chris Rock addressing this thing, like he could have handled it another way, but it wouldn't have been near as funny. You know what I mean? He's a comedian, so this is the perfect way for a comic to work through it. And if he would have taken Will Smith's phone call before this special came out and accepted his apology, it would have been disingenuous. He would have had to be like, "Oh, okay, I accept your apology, and I am about to just destroy you on my next stand-up special. So just be ready for that." He had the right to do what he did. And is it petty? Yeah, I don't think he would say that it's not petty. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. And that's, I think, first and foremost, I don't know Chris Rock personally. I know him as a comic, and I think his shit's funny. So I think the stand-up special, yeah, it's not at the top of his list. He's definitely not washed. I've heard people say that too. And I think it probably was 10 minutes of killer material, 10 minutes of pretty good material, 10 minutes of bad material, and then just everything else, you know, setting up stories and stuff like that. So for an hour-long stand-up special to have 20 minutes worth of good shit is actually, it's pretty good. Like, I've seen Burr's most recent stuff. We've seen Chappelle's most recent stuff. And I think it's on par with all of that. It just gets to a certain point where I feel like I've heard a lot of this shit before. So I think stand-up's going to have to find a way to evolve. And I don't know what that means or looks like. I mean, we see TikTok comedians that are killing it, but it's not the same format. And I just wonder if it's not the comic's fault, it's just that the medium has been diluted because of fucking Twitter takes, you know? So that's my take on it.
And I do want to add Chris Rock. He has a lot of specials. I'm looking at him right now. Never Scared is a very good one. Bigger and Black is a good one. Let's see here.
Bring the Pain.
Bring the Pain is one of my favorites. He got a lot of like little sets from what's it called? Def Jam, Def Comedy Jam and stuff like that. Never Scared. Kill the Messenger. I don't know if I said that one, but that one came out when I graduated.
Yeah, got like 5 albums and 8 specials.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, whenever you compare these, yeah, it's gonna be on the top. It's gonna be on the bottom tier, but that doesn't mean he's washed. Like some have to be better than the others. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and I agree. I did like Tamarine a little bit better than this one, but my favorite one will always be Bring the Pain. I think that one is like up here in comparison to all his other stuff, but that's just my subjective opinion about that. I'm sure people like his other stuff a little bit more, but I mean, as a special, I thought it was really good. I think that's the first time that's been done live on Netflix, so I thought that was kind of interesting. So but also, like I said, like that man was publicly humiliated on stage in front of millions, if not billions, of people. That was the one time in the whole lifetime that the Oscars have been on TV where they got significant ratings because another black man got slapped by a black man. So I mean, you know, it is.
And the white man gets paid off of all of that.
Exactly. And I love how Chris ended it. He said the reason why I didn't hit him back is because my parents taught me not to hit or fight in front of white people. I was like, wow.
So, hey, real question. I've heard people say that this shows and proves that Chris Rock cares about what white people say too much, or that he's too worried about it. I kind of saw it, and I don't know, I'm curious about your take on it. I kind of saw it as like there's already a preconception among society at large that maybe black people are more prone to violence and stuff. So if you act out like that in public, you're kind of reaffirming what the most bigoted views of the community are. Do you think that it's being beholden to what white people think, or do you think that's kind of like the right move?
Personally, I think yes and no to it. Like, for instance, when Will slapped Chris, that very thing that you brought up is what they tried to pin on Will. That very thing. And so when Chris responded in the way that he responded, there's some truth to that. Like, because if we do fight in front of black people, that's what we're labeled. However, I would say if he did walk up and punch Will back, he'd be very justified in doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but
my
yeah,
thing is that there is definitely some truth to that. However, like I mean, even after the special, and like, excuse my language, but Chris Rock is still being viewed by a lot of people as a bitch.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And, you know, and it shouldn't be
I
that
mean, if
way.
you watch his show, people already label him that.
Exactly, and
Everybody hates
even
Chris.
but I think also when you look at like everybody hates Chris, even though that's a very loosely told version of his life, he was always viewed as the small little guy, and if you hit me, I'm gonna hit you with my jokes,
Yeah.
not with my fists.
Hmm.
So yes, even in that show, he didn't even fight in front of white people, and his one of his best friends was a white
Was
guy.
white, yeah.
So yes, there's some truth to that. But Ian, did you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, similar. And I feel like that's how my mom raised me, and that's how my son is raising me. It has nothing to do with bowing down to the white person, though. It's about not giving them the opportunity to hold those stereotypes above us. And I think that's really what it is. Like that's anything that gives you that stereotype, like drugs or fighting or type of like anything to give you that satisfaction, like oh he's eating fried chicken. Like I'm for like not giving it to you. So I would say like, hey, don't let them think we violent, you know. And it's not even just like being like I don't know, a white man's butt. It's just like no, we are better than that, and we've always been better than that. And it's actually more of a dig at our culture, in my opinion. Just like I don't have to be what you tell me I am. I don't have to be.
100%.
Yeah, I don't have to be these stereotypes. So.
I would challenge that to say, while I agree 100%, and it's definitely better for the sake of the joke, I think that the better take is just we shouldn't be fighting in general. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just so funny. Like everybody loves Will Smith, no matter what culture you are or what background you are. So it's just so weird that we got that stereotype from him. You would
Yeah,
have thought it would have came
100%.
from like
he was
someone
the
like Martin, like you said, or Marlon said on his stand up.
I need to watch that still. I hadn't
Oh
seen
yeah,
it
by
yet.
the way, I was gonna bring that up. Marlon's stand up and I'm
The
still
whole
being
thing was about it.
the whole thing
Oh,
was about it.
really?
Yes.
It was because like I don't know if you watched the Breakfast Club, but when the first thing that Charlemagne said to him was like, "Bro, I'm sure God loves you, but the Smith family hates you right now."
And he's
'Cause-
I think Chris might have thought it was funny, but I don't think the Smiths are gonna think it's funny. He went in.
exactly, because
Yeah.
like from beginning to end, it's about that, and like,
Yeah.
but I will
It's like
say
an
this.
hour long of it, yeah. It's weird.
He did make a joke. He was like, you know, Will Smith is the same dude. I'm paraphrasing. Will Smith is the same dude who made a song called "Parents Don't Understand," and black people looked at that like, parents, bro, you got more than one parent in your home. I was blown away. I was like, damn. Yeah. So, but I mean, overall, what do you guys think about Will Smith responding back to Chris Rock? Do you think Chris Rock did an amazing job with his special? Or do you think this was the proper way for him to respond? Please jump into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, we're going to jump into the next topic. And the next topic comes from Mr. Brad Johnson.
All right.
And he writes, "Hey guys, so I'm a little confused about how the MCU is working.
Me too, my man.
So we got a new Daredevil series that is a complete reboot according to reports. However, they keep recasting certain people from the Netflix Daredevil Marvel universe, as it's been confirmed that the Punisher actor John Bernthal is now reprising his role as Punisher. However, I am excited for this casting, but I am not excited for a watered down version of John Bernthal being the Punisher, nor a watered down version of Daredevil. Now, I did like his appearance in She-Hulk, but I seriously think we're going to see more of a jokey, lighter tone Daredevil than we did in the Netflix series. Should we be worried about this, or is this a good casting, or is this a good announcement of the casting of the show? Well, thank you for your question, Brad. So as Brad alluded to in his question, he said that it has been confirmed that John Bernthal is coming back to the Netflix, or not Netflix, sorry, to reprise his role as Punisher, but he was Punisher in the Netflix Marvel series. Um, Kevin Feige and the people at Marvel have said that this is a reimagining of Daredevil. So the stuff that happened on Netflix, I guess, took place in another universe or
Sure.
multiverse, but yet some of the same characters are reprising their same role. Like, I'll put it to you like this: when I saw Daredevil on She-Hulk, and I saw him on Netflix, I in terms of how he portrayed the character, it didn't really seem that different. But I will say it did seem lighter because, like, when he's that scene where he's actually helping She-Hulk fight people, I thought that was cool. But when you saw him in Netflix, that dude was breaking arms and breaking limbs and all different types of stuff. So obviously we're going to see a watered down version. um I love season 2 of Daredevil, where you get introduced to Punisher, and that scene where they're on the rooftop arguing about different philosophies of how to protect the city, where killing could be a method, or freaking not killing being a method. I thought it was all perfectly handled. I'm actually not interested in this at all, to be honest with you guys. I am not. I'm not. Only because you got Daredevil and the Kingpin, who got beat by Kate Bishop, and you
Yeah.
have now John Bernthal coming back as the Punisher. So my thing is that, okay, what kind of story are they telling? Now I want to see the show. I definitely really want to see the show. My issue is that I don't want to see watered down versions of this. Now I think that if they make this show a little bit more edgier, like they did with Andor, okay, I'm on board. They don't have to necessarily go the killing route or using F-bombs or anything like that. However, John Bernthal coming back as Punisher is cool, but if he's not that lethal guy that we saw in the Netflix series, I feel like it was just a waste of casting. It was like, if we're gonna see him get beat by anyone with an arrow or anyone with some sticks, I do not want to watch this at all. But at the same time, if he's that same lethal person that we saw in the Netflix series, I think this has potential. So, Jeremy, did you watch the Netflix Daredevil series or the Punisher series? And if you did, are you excited about this casting? And what do you think about him reprising his role as the Punisher?
I like John Bernthal a whole lot. I think he is just one of the best actors working. Just super committed, always picks good roles. Big fan of John Bernthal. I kind of like the Punisher as a character, and I think the Netflix series handled him as a character really well. You mentioned it when you were talking a moment ago that the ideological differences between, is it okay to murder people as a vigilante, or do you just beat them up real bad like Daredevil does? It's an interesting thing, and I kind of liked how they played on that. And look, man, I also agree with you 100% with what you just said about Kingpin and Kate Bishop. It's like Marvel done forgot how to put people over. How am I supposed to think you're a tough villain if you're getting your shit rocked by somebody? And I know, okay, look, she's young, she's female, and that's part of the picture, but also she's relatively inexperienced. Like, she hasn't been doing this for super long. So to tell me Kingpin's going to show up in the show, get shot like 5 times, survive it, and get the crap beat out of him by Kate Bishop, I'm just like, I don't know. He don't seem intimidating anymore the same way he did in the Daredevil series. So, of course, they're not going to do that. Of course, they're not going to go R-rated, pitch black Daredevil and the Punisher in the MCU. They're going to bring in quippy, dumbass, homogenized, all the same character Punisher who's like digestible to 12-year-olds. And I don't think that Frank Castle is that character. He's a villain. I mean, he's definitely an anti-hero. He's almost a villain, and I think that's how he exists the best. Also, there's this weird thing that's happened in the past 5 years where there's been this misappropriation of the Punisher to think that he's a good guy, and it's always motherfuckers with Blue Lives Matter flags that
Yep.
Punisher stickers on the back of their car, and it makes me be like, fuck this guy. I'm not a
Right.
fan of what the
It's
character.
not, and he's so far from what they think he is. Honestly, they would probably hate him in real life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, like a real quick. Well, like I think, and this is not to get too political, but I don't think the Punisher would be a Trump supporter. But go ahead.
No,
I don't.
definitely would
I
not.
think he's far from that. But go
He
ahead.
would be
Cherry.
at the Capitol riots, just sniping folks.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I don't love that, and I think that this kind of worship of a character like that is very telling about the state of America. But anyways, yeah, not to get too political, just some observation that I made. I don't know. I'm just getting bored with it. I'm just getting really bored with it. I like Charlie Cox. I think he's great as Daredevil. I didn't really care for him in She-Hulk all that much. I mean, he's a good actor. He always elevates it. But yeah, I'm having a difficult time being enthusiastic about a lot of this stuff because it's just kind of like what we saw, only a watered down version of it. So I guess we'll wait and see. But what's wild is that Captain America from the MCU has killed like 100 people. I don't know. He killed so many Nazis in the first Avenger and then a bunch of people in Winter Soldier. So like the ideological conflict of is Punisher taking it too far? Well, when fucking Captain America's going around catching bodies, then like you can't really dive into the nuance of what it means to be a vigilante. So like I don't know what you do with it. I just don't know what you do with it.
I think though the difference is that Captain America's first move is not to kill somebody though.
No, it's like his second move.
Exactly. Like the Punisher goes in with the notion of you're going to die today.
One is defense and one is offense.
Exactly.
That's basically what
like
it is.
The Punisher, if you run into the Punisher, you're not walking away clean. You run into Captain America, I have a 50-50 chance of surviving somewhat. But Ian, you heard this news. You think this is good casting? And did you see the Netflix stuff? And do you think this would be a good addition to this new Daredevil Disney Plus show?
So yeah, I think it's great casting. I think he's a great Punisher. I think Charlie Cox is a great Daredevil. When it comes to recasting MCU characters that were already used, why not use the same ones if you're not using them from the Netflix series? So I'm down to bring back Luke Cage. I think what's his name, the guy that played Luke Cage?
Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter, yeah, very perfect. And the female that did Jessica Jones, I think she's great too. I think they're all good. Even I was about to say, what's his name? Finn. What's the dude's name that does the Iron Fist?
Finn Jones.
Finn Jones. I think with good writing, he could actually be okay. He's not the worst character. He was like, I liked him a little bit better in the Defenders than his own show. But
yeah,
as I can move on from this, yes, I think it's great. Bring them all back, put them all under one umbrella in the same universe. With that being said, I got to echo a lot of what Jeremy said. I really don't care about a Daredevil show. I really don't care. Like, I think Marvel got to put some spirits back in me. I got to see the light again. I'm starting to lose faith a little bit. And as someone that did like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I liked it. I'm very vocal about how people are overreacting about how good or bad it is. But it's still, the magic's not there. I'm hoping Guardians will bring it back, because I feel like even with Guardians, it's a good franchise in the MCU, but it's still like you could kind of view it out of the MCU, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like you can kind of look at it without being connected to other things. But yeah, my thrill for the MCU is slowly decreasing. Am I gonna watch it? Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm one of those people that always will have faith in it because I know what they're capable of. But my excitement is kind of going more to indie products this year. And my excitement, it's like I'm intrigued about what DC has going on, and I'm gonna follow what Marvel has going on. But like my excitement honestly has gone to other projects. So I'm always wishing the best, because if I'm giving my time and money to something, I want it to be good. So I wish them the best. I really hope they turn around and do good. But am I excited about it? Not really. I might not be rushing to the television like I did for other projects.
Yeah, and I completely agree with both of you guys. Like, this is one of those things where, on paper it sounds good, but I'm not really too excited about it, to be honest. And then also, honestly, after what Netflix gave us, I'm not really interested to seeing a watered down Daredevil. And again, like I said, I think it was really good seeing Daredevil and She-Hulk, so we got an idea of what he's going to be like. But still, even in that, that was just kind of like, okay, yeah, he's still that acrobatic Daredevil that we know, but it's not the same in a sense.
Why did
Like,
they give him that yellow costume, dude? That was a bad move. I
oh,
mean,
that
it
was
makes
That
almost
was
no difference.
it,
I know
it's
uh,
it
comic book
looks like
accurate.
shit. I know it looks like
Yeah.
shit.
but I think though, I do think though they were just they're trying to say that this, like, they're trying to say this Daredevil is
Is
not our
not
Netflix.
that. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're right.
so,
You're right.
but it's the same costume.
Give him the
It's the
Yeah.
black
exact
suit. Yeah,
same, just a
you're right.
different
Given
colors.
I know, yeah, they're trying to like make it separate them, but I'm
Yeah.
with you, Alex. Though if the Punisher starts making jokes, I'm out. But I
Uh-huh.
don't
Yeah,
care if
like
Charlie
like
Cox makes jokes. Honestly,
I, I I don't get it. Like, I don't want Frank Castle to be like Tony Stark. Like, I don't
yeah,
like,
nah,
I don't want him,
that's not him.
and I don't want him to be. If I see for any moment Frank Castle get beaten by a civilian or a ninja, we're going to have some issues
Yeah,
because
but you know what? They're making an R-rated Deadpool. This is their first R-rated project
Mhm,
for the
mhm.
MCU. They've
That's
confirmed
that's
that.
for real.
They've
Yeah,
confirmed that
Okay.
he will be R-rated for the
yeah,
MCU. So if they
Okay.
can do that, why not? Why not the other two?
yeah. But I think though, I know they confirmed the R rating, but is this Deadpool in our MCU or an
Now that
MCU
I don't know.
adjacent?
I think eventually all of it is because they've confirmed that what's his name? Not Luke, but Owen Wilson is going to be in it. And if Owen Wilson's in it, he's definitely
Ah.
from the TVA. So I can understand. I
Mhm,
think I know where they're going with it. It's going to be
mhm.
a time travel / multiverse road
Oh,
trip
okay.
thing. So I think this is the way they can bring him in it. Now, would the whole movie be in the MCU? That's a good question. They can go anywhere with that. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah, because we don't know exactly where it's taking place, but we do know Wolverine's in it, which is pretty good, I
Yes.
guess. So, but yeah, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for John Bernthal coming back as Frank Castle, the Punisher, in the new Daredevil Born Again series? Jump into the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts. And I have another topic, a topic I actually want to hear Ian's opinion on, just
Oh
about
yeah.
Star Wars in general. But this topic comes from a Mr. Isaac. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Is it Benjamin or I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull it up on the screen, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm sorry, Isaac. But Mr. Isaac writes, "Hey guys, so it's been confirmed that Patty Jenkins and Kevin Feige's Star Wars movies have been scrapped. It looks like that Taika Waititi's movie will still be on par with the slate of movies. However, we
Mm,
won't be receiving Rogue Squadron nor Kevin Feige's mystery movie. To be honest, I wasn't really looking forward to Kevin Feige's movie, but I was looking forward to Patty Jenkins' movie. What are you guys' thoughts on this development?"
mm.
Well, as the
Get
very
it out.
average Star Wars fan, thank you for your question. Average Star Wars fan. If I'm being honest, I kind of forgot that Kevin Feige was making a Star Wars movie. That's number one. I was interested in Rogue Squadron, but after I don't know if you guys noticed, but after Wonder Woman 84, Patty Jenkins' credibility has kind of, I'm not saying that her credibility has gone all the way down.
I
I'm not
am.
saying that. I'm not saying that because that's just one movie out of the slate of movies that she's been able to produce and
It's
help
a
write
huge
and
L.
direct, but it is an L. And I don't think that's the reason why they're not doing Rogue Squadron. I think the reason why they're not doing Rogue Squadron is because Kathleen Kennedy is still a part of Lucasfilm and she's messing everything up over there. I think that's more so the reason why. And that's kind of the reason why Bob Iger came back to Disney to basically restructure some of this stuff because Marvel's gone off the rails. Star Wars, we haven't had a Star Wars film since Rise of the Skywalker. So we haven't seen a Star Wars film since then. So I was actually looking forward to Rogue Squadron, seeing something different from her. Now that we're not getting it, I'm not really too disappointed behind it. But Ian, the Star Wars fan of the panel, What do you think about this news about Kevin Feige not getting his movie and Patty Jenkins not getting getting her movie?
All right, so I'll give you three. I'll give you three opinions. Of course, it's going to be about all three of these directors. Patty Jenkins, I don't care. Get away from Star Wars. I don't care. And you can say what you want about, oh, it's just one movie. It's just one mistake. She could get better. She can get better. But man, when you have such a bad movie like Wonder Woman 84 that makes no goddamn sense, no, you can't. Star Wars is already this, even if you are a hardcore fan, it already kind of doesn't make sense. You just got to take your head out and enjoy the nerdum of it. But like with the sequels, it's kind of it's everywhere too. You're in the past, you're in the present, you're in the middle times. Patty Jenkins, it's not your lane. It's not your lane. So you got to get out of there. You got to go. So as in Kevin Feige, I'm kind of disappointed because I was interested in that because he's a nerd's nerd. This dude, he does his research and he knows everything about the universes that he's working with, and I think it could have worked. I mean, and that's just me looking at him as a human being that is a fan of music. I mean, not music, but movies and television and comics and all that stuff. So I am disappointed. Now with Taika Waititi, I got a lot of mixed feelings because I do think he is a great director, and I'm going to contradict myself. Thor: Love and Thunder was terrible. I didn't like it, but he has a very good movie collection. Like he's one of those types that his movies touch my soul. Like he's a very good director. With that being said, I don't know if his tone would even work with Star Wars. Now Star Wars has a lot of tones, but man, he gets a little too silly sometimes. And I don't know if I want to see that much silliness in Star Wars. But I'm intrigued about that. Now, you did say something about Patty Jenkins. I want to play a game with you guys. It's called L or No L. And I want to talk about all the movies that came out and the TV shows since she's been involved. And I want to weigh the L's and the no L's because I think she's not as bad as people say she is. Now, to your point, the movies that haven't been made yet, that is her fault. I'm not going to defend her on that. But let's just say, if I say the movie, you say L or W, okay? You guys know how to play? You guys ready? Okay. Let's start off with the Force Awakens. L or W?
W.
W for me. The Last Jedi.
W, but debatable.
Yeah, W. I do W, yeah.
I like that movie, so I'm going to give it a W. So that's 2-0. All right. Rogue One.
W.
W. That's 3 W's. Zero losses.
And it's about to get grim though, bro.
I do see an L coming. The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, L.
That's an L for me. Okay, let's see here. The Mandalorian.
W.
Boba Fett. That's an L for me. All right. The Bad Batch. I haven't watched it. My mom's a big fan. She's here. What'd you say, Jeremy?
I hadn't seen it.
Okay.
What'd she say?
She said W. She loves that movie.
All right.
That show. Okay. Yeah. What's the show that you mentioned earlier that they changed the tone of Star Wars?
Andor.
Andor. I'm gonna say W.
Mm-hmm.
And one. Am I forgetting anything? Did I forget
Solo.
Oh, Solo.
Solo.
I'm gonna give a little bit of both because yes, as in the Star Wars universe, I didn't like it, but outside the universe, I thought it was a decent movie. Honestly,
what are you giving it, Alex? Movie. Yeah, it's definitely a fun movie, but I probably would still give it an L.
Okay, so as we've just seen, there's more W's than L's. So I don't understand the hate with this. Now I can understand why, because they didn't have any directions in the sequel, like just passing the baton, like, oh, you figured this out without having an outline. That is a huge L, especially ending a 40-50 year trilogy like that, how they ended it, or not trilogy, but like just the Skywalker show. I didn't like how they ended that at all. But what they've been doing to expand the universe, honestly, I don't think, as we just proven, I don't think Patty's as bad as people keep saying. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think she's I think Patty Jenkins would be more so an asset to Star Wars.
I'm sorry, not Patty Jenkins. What was her name? Kathleen Kennedy. I'm sorry. Patty Jenkins, get out of here. No.
Okay, so to rephrase Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is not. I do think Kathleen Kennedy has done a good job, but here's where people combat that argument. if you look at all the things that we just named, if we're including the movies, The Force Awakens, I believe, is the only movie that actually hit a certain, I think, over $1 billion, and then also it's the highest movie domestically. Every movie that came after that, they went this way. Even though it hit $1 billion, it didn't hit Force Awakens numbers.
That's
So,
two conversations
so
though. Success with money or
right,
like quality. I'm
right,
talking
but
quality.
now if we're talking quality, obviously there's more wins. But I
Obvious.
think the reason why people don't like Kathleen Kennedy for the decisions that she's made. I mean, if we're being honest,
Oh, I'm
even though
sorry.
I love Rogue One.
And
What's
Brogy
that?
brought up Obi-Wan. I totally forgot Obi-Wan. That's a little bit of
Oh
mix for
yes,
me as
he
well.
did. He said
It's a
Obi-Wan was his
W, and then also Rebels is a W for me. So it is
uh,
heavily weighted towards
oh,
being better.
definitely. Like I liked Obi-Wan. I would
I did
still give
too.
it an L, but I didn't like it that much
Some
in
great
comparison
stuff in
to
that though, man.
Yeah.
But no, some of the ending I wasn't feeling.
exactly. But honestly, for me personally, I think though some of the projects that she greenlit should have never been greenlit. Boba Fett should have
Mm,
never been greenlit.
agreed.
I don't believe Solo should have been greenlit either. Nor do I think that even though I love Rogue One, we know the story. Why are we getting another retelling of episode 4, just what happened moments before
I
episode
can
4
respect
happened?
Rogue One for filling in gaps though.
But
Like, you know,
I,
people always complained about like, oh, it was that easy to just shoot something in the thing to make the Death Star blow up. But
right.
they kind of expanded on that. I respect it for that.
I
And we
respect
got one
like
of the best Darth Vader scenes
Rogue,
ever.
Rogue
Yeah,
One is
the
my
best Darth Vader scene.
Rogue One is my favorite out of the whole new
Same.
Disney movies. So I like that movie, but I'm saying from a story narrative, if we're going to tell Star Wars and we're trying to move forward, and you're
Hmm.
saying we're going to do 3 episode movies plus 3 ancillary movies that are within the same universe that just happen at different times, why do we keep going back? Like, that's my criticism. Like, that's why I don't understand. Yes, we have books and TV shows that reference all of that. Like Jeremy mentioned, Rebels. Rebels takes place in between episode 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Some of it takes place after Rogue One.
So you
So
want
for
to go
me,
after the Rise of Skywalker? That's where you want to
right.
go? You want to do
Yeah,
just like
I
okay.
want to see. I want to see where our future characters go. But to your point, quality wise, a lot of the stuff that has come out has been good. From a decision making standpoint, if I'm in charge of Lucasfilm, half of the stuff that came out wouldn't have came out on my watch.
I'll
But
say that Star Wars, when it comes to Disney Star Wars, has been doing better than Phase 4 and
yeah,
5
I agree
so
with
far.
that. I agree with that in terms of the Disney Plus side. Yes, I agree with that.
Shoot,
What
movies
about you,
too.
Darren?
Yeah, Jeremy hasn't
Yeah,
answered, so I just
yeah,
wanted to play that game with y'all
yeah.
because a lot of people give Kathleen Kennedy a lot like she just gets all the hate, all the hate. I'm like, is she that bad though? No, I
We
don't think
gotta
she's as
be.
bad as the people at Warner Brothers did
But also,
DC
real
stuff,
quick,
you know.
also she also announced a lot of things that were coming out that we
Hmm.
still haven't gotten yet.
That's facts
Yeah,
for sure. That
Yeah,
I can't argue that. Can't argue that.
yeah.
I think Kathleen Kennedy gets to take the biggest hit because she's a woman. I mean, let's be real about
Yeah.
it. There's a lot of producers out there. And how active of a role do you think that she really has from the top down? I mean, she's funding and deciding what movies to finance, but there's so many levels to filmmaking that you can't put it solely on one individual. When you look at her over 100 credits for movies that she produced, we got Poltergeist, E.T., Twilight Zone, the Indiana Jones movies, Gremlins, Goonies, Back to the Future, The Color Purple, Empire of the Sun, Batteries Not Included, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Land Before Time. I mean, just
Those are a lot of
classic
W's.
after
Yeah.
classic after classic. So what's the difference? I think a big part of it is saturation. I think to Alex's point, it would have been a shame if Rogue One didn't get greenlit. But the fact of the matter is, Star Wars, if it is an event, to your point, if it's an event, then it feels special.
Yeah.
You can't, And same with MCU, it just gets to a point where it's hit critical mass where it's not an event anymore. It's an obligation. It's like, fuck, I guess I gotta watch the new Star Wars series. People are gonna talk to me about the new Star Wars series. Like I saw Mandalorian episode 1 and I thought it was good. And all of Mandalorian, it's good. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's bad. Andor is essential watching. The rest of it just kind of feels like more Star Wars. And I'm okay with that. And I understand audiences are okay with that. But if we look at things strictly in terms of good or bad, yes, there are more wins. If we dive a little bit deeper into it, is it a home run or is it a double? Is it a
Good point.
slam or is it a home run? And I feel like while majority of them are better than not, I do also think that there's a spectrum of that, and that none of them are really great.
None of them are home runs. You got a good point on that. You're right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Even to that, I think Empire Strikes Back is, really the only like grand slam, like brilliant Star Wars movie until probably Rogue One, which I think is my other favorite one. So like Disney era Star Wars has done some good stuff. There's just so much of it, and I don't even remember what what was the question.
Like like he was basically asking, has Kathleen Kennedy, is she more so an asset or?
I would say Kathleen Kennedy is a asset in that she is there keeping the Star Wars machine moving. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau seem like they'd be great for the job, but they're also men. So I don't know if maybe that's the only reason why I'm saying that. It's hard to know. You know what I'm saying? So
because if you want to give her the same energy, they're the ones that brought you Boba Fett. Honestly,
yeah,
facts.
yeah, me personally, I keep that energy of yes. Favreau gave us Boba Fett, and Boba Fett was garbage.
Yeah.
Also, these were just Dave Filoni's also the same person who gave us Clone Wars, and that's shitty. And so is the Bad Batch.
Last 3 seasons of Clone Wars are dope, dude. Last 3 seasons are good.
Yeah, if my mom heard you say that, she would not be happy. She loves Clone Wars.
I'm just saying, for me personally, most of the animated stuff, I feel it's not all that great. That's just me.
I get it.
And that's Filoni and Favreau to an extent. So. But I would say Kathleen Kennedy, it would be very ignorant to say that she has not done a good job. She has. There's most definitely there's no way sugarcoating it. I think my criticism has been honestly, we are getting projects that don't necessarily fit the mold of Star Wars. And we keep
too many back. And they keep announcing and they keep going back. I agree with all the things that you're saying. I don't think they need to go ahead of Rise though. I think they just need to fuck off from the Skywalker stuff and just go somewhere else. Show me some other stuff. I don't care about the timeline.
Yeah, that's what I love about like Andor and Mandalorian to an extent. Mandalorian, because like I don't have to think about Luke or Anakin, even though Luke is in Mandalorian to an extent. Like the majority of that series has nothing to do with the Skywalker. So
that's the thing about making huge universes. I say this about Dragon Ball and even the MCU and DCU. If you're making this universe huge and Star Wars is one of the biggest universes ever, why are we still focusing on this dysfunctional family? Let's move on. We got a lot we could talk about here.
That's right.
Go to hell, Brokey. Now go run tell that. All right. But what do you guys think of Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins not getting their films? Also, what do you think about Kathleen Kennedy still being a part of Lucasfilm? I do think, though, by the end of this year, she probably won't be. I'm not too sure. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. But they are going to put somebody else in that chair. So what do you guys think about all these changes?
Patty, go back to the drawing board. Do some indie films before you can get back to a big franchise.
I agree with that to an extent. But I still think Patty Jenkins is a badass when it comes to filmmaking. So that's just my thought. That's my personal preference. But what do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts. Now, guys, I have one more topic left, and it's just basically what are our most anticipated movies of this year. And this topic comes from Miss Talisha Jones. Talisha Jones, I think I'm pronouncing her first name right. And she writes, Hey guys, new viewer to the show. Well, thank you for watching the show.
Welcome.
What
I
it
wanted
do,
to ask,
Jive
what is
Turkey?
your I wanted to ask, what is your most anticipated movies for the rest of 2023? A lot of the heavy hitters are coming out in March, and also a lot of them are coming out in the summer. So, what are your most anticipated? Honestly, for me, I can't wait for John Wick. Oh my god,
That trailer is
that
so
movie
good.
looks freaking amazing. I can't wait for that. I've already seen Creed, and that was one of my movies. That movie is phenomenal. I can't wait to see Cross the Spider Verse. By the way, fun fact: Shamik Moore, the guy who voices Miles Morales, will be at MegaCon this year, so hopefully I get to run into
Nice.
him. Um,
Yeah.
and then also, I can't believe I'm saying this because I really enjoyed the trailer, but I am really interested to see where Fast X goes. Like I am interested in Fast 10.
It
I'm
does
also
look better
interested.
than the last one. I'll
I
give you
hope.
that.
I really hope so because I'm really interested to see like what gets captivating about it. Jason Momoa's. I want to see his
It looks
villain, and I want
personal.
to
I
see.
understand. Like it looks like it's coming, taking it back to Fast Five. Like an issue happened. I can understand that.
Yeah, so
It's
I
interesting.
want to see that dynamic, but I also want to see that Mario movie too. The trailer for that, a new trailer came out I think yesterday for that, so that looks phenomenal. And I'm not a huge Mario player, but I do want to see that movie. So I would say those are my most anticipated. I'm going to go see Scream tonight, so I can't wait for that.
Nice.
So Jeremy, what are your most anticipated movies of 2023?
A couple of the big ones did just now kind of roll through. I haven't seen Creed 3 yet, but that's definitely on the list.
Missing
Cocaine Bear
out.
is one I was very excited about. That was actually a lot of fun. I checked that one out. I was looking forward to Scream, and that one came out. There's a movie called 65. It's written by the people that wrote A Quiet Place. It stars Adam
Looks good.
Driver, and it is like a kind of Jurassic movie where they travel to a different galaxy and actually like travel back to time to start humanity, I think. But it looks interesting. Hopefully it's the dinosaur movie that the recent Jurassic movies haven't been. I think it's got
Mixed
potential.
reviews.
Say that.
It's getting mixed reviews, but some people like it, some people don't.
Ah, interesting. I didn't realize people had seen it yet.
Yeah.
John Wick 4, same movie. It's the same as they're all the same movie, and I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're a lot of fun. So I'm very much looking forward to that one. There's one called April. There's one called Air with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's a Ben Affleck directed movie about creating the Jordans for Nike. Looks super cool. New Mario Brothers, of course. Beau is Afraid is the new Ari Aster movie. I'm really looking forward to. Evil Dead Rise, new kind of spin on the franchise. Looks really dark and really disturbing. It might suck, but I'm interested. Guy Ritchie's got one called The Covenant coming out that has Jake Gyllenhaal in it. He's always somebody worth watching. And I'll go with those. I think those are a couple that I'm real excited about. Oh, and then we got to see The Flash, dude. We've been thinking about this movie for the better part of 10 years now, wondering if it was ever going to happen. People keep on saying it's actually good. So definitely want to check out The Flash just to see what all this hoopla is about.
Yeah, I agree. Brogy actually brought up one that I didn't think of because I saw the trailer that I loved. It's an animated movie. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I want
Looks
to see.
cool. Nolan's Oppenheimer looks really good.
That looks good too. He also brought up Flick and Guardians of the
No,
Galaxy.
it's the new
3.
Leo and Martin Scorsese movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's an Apple Plus exclusive. Yeah, it looks good. Good call, Brogy.
Nice.
But the one thing he put on that list that I disagree with is Blue Beetle. I'm not looking forward to that movie at all. But Ian, what are you looking forward to in 2023?
Okay, so I've kind of started a list. I loved Creed 3. Creed 3 was great. What was another movie I saw? We started watching the movie Missing. We just didn't get to finish it.
I need to watch that.
It's really good. If you like the movie, the one that's it's in the same universe actually. Searching.
Yeah.
If you've seen Searching,
really
you'll
good.
definitely like Missing. Yeah, Searching was one of my favorite movies that year when it came out. But I am looking forward to Past Lives, which I think that one's starring Joaquin Phoenix. looks really good. I got Beau is Afraid on here as well.
Yeah.
It's actually Past Lives might not be that. I think I mixed them up. I think is Beau is Afraid the one with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah. That's the Ari Aster
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, I mixed that up. So Past Lives looks good. It's a little indie film about love. Beau is Afraid looks really good. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has that Spider-Verse vibe. I think looks really good. Of course, Spider-Verse is on there. I love the fact about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I like about this one coming up is they actually have teenagers doing the voices.
That's good call.
That is a first
finally.
right there. I was like, okay, you got my attention. I love the animation. You got teenagers actually in these roles, and you got decent voice actors. And of course, Guardians. You're gonna be wrapping up a trilogy, which Guardians is surprisingly one of my favorites from the MCU. I saw Equalizer 3 is coming out this year. There's no trailer or nothing, but I do like the Equalizer movies. Denzel just kicking butt, love it. The Flash, I was not actually looking forward until I saw the trailer, and I was like, yo, this looks good. Maybe this will pardon the poor guy, but I doubt it. And actually, I just saw this trailer yesterday. It's called No Hard Feelings, starring Jennifer Lawrence, and it looks hilarious.
It does look funny. I can't believe she took that role.
I can't believe it either.
The trailer opens up like, let me see your wiener.
When I started watching, I was like, this is kind of corny. But then toward the end, when I understood the premise and like what she's trying to do, and you just start to see more and more of this guy, you're like, okay, this is going to be a challenge.
What about that Woody Harrelson movie, Champions? Do you think that looks good? Where he becomes a basketball coach after he gets a DUI, and it's all intellectually.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer. I need to check that out.
Yeah, it looks good. I think it looks like it's got potential, and it's one of the Farrelly brothers that did like Something About Mary and all of those. So it's got potential. We'll see. My bad.
Okay, I have to check. No, I have to see that trailer. I haven't heard of it.
And I just want to address this comment right here.
Not even worth it, dude. Not even worth it. Just let it go.
He's doing it on purpose, man. Let it go. Let it go.
I don't know how he stumbled on that.
And I do want to see the Blue Beetle. So I gotta agree with Brogy on that one.
All right.
I don't know much about him though.
I think that's just a waste of time, but okay. I think then I don't even think after this movie they're going to continue with Blue Beetle. But then again, James Gunn.
It might be part of this new universe. I don't know. I don't know what James Gunn is being very vague about things. He's like, oh, this ain't working, but this is, and it kind of contradicts what he's saying. But we'll see. I trust him though. I do trust James Gunn.
Yeah, they canceled Batgirl, but they didn't cancel this. This actually might be a good movie. So,
are y'all watching The Last of Us?
Oh, absolutely. The last episode comes out on Sunday. Last episode of the season.
Can we give a little bonus segment real quick? What are you thinking about it, Alex?
Go ahead.
This last episode was really good stuff. I think the foundational question that people have been talking about for the last couple of weeks is whether or not Last of Us is a zombie show, and I've been very much in the camp that it is a zombie show. And here we are, one episode from the finale. And I know it sounds cliche, but this is very much a story about humanity. It's really not about zombies so much at all. It does have similarities. I was really worried that it was going to just kind of feel like The Walking Dead. And while there are definite similarities, it's just top tier production, top tier acting. To see the growth of the characters has been really impressive. I think we've only had like maybe 3 or 4 scenes throughout the series so far that heavily had the infected in it. So like, I'm really enjoying it. I think this last episode was really an interesting peek into the darkness that Joel can tap into when he needs to. Like we've heard that he was a bad dude, but holy shit, does he go crazy when he's going to get Ellie in this episode. So I'm in love with it. I think it's fantastic. But what do you think? Is it a zombie show, Alex?
No, not at all. Actually, I think this is more so kind of like you were saying. This show's more about surviving and also human behavior and how humans treat other humans. And it reminds me of like how humans treated each other during COVID.
Okay.
And like, COVID was the big boogeyman of, oh, if you get sick, you could die, or you could have long lasting complications.
Mm.
And then there were people who had COVID and nothing happened, like, or they didn't get sick. In this series, if you want to compare the two, yeah, you had people who got this disease and turned into zombies. Some of them died. And then also you have Ellie who's infected, but she's not showing so many
She's
signs as
asymptomatic.
any symptomatics. So I love the comparison to what's going on in real life, but I don't consider it a zombie show. I honestly think it's actually very different from The Walking Dead. There's obviously some similarities because of what's the overall nature involved, but I think it's very different because in this movie, it's literally about Joe trying to protect a girl that's not his daughter, but he has a lot of grief. And now it makes me want to think, like, once we finish the series on Sunday, I kind of want to go back and play the game and see what areas that they did not talk about in the show. So I don't consider it a zombie show. I consider it, you know, a human surviving, trying to survive a disease while dealing with the fact that people did get infected and now they're trying to kill other people and also, you know, survive whatever planet that they're on. So I think I wouldn't consider it a zombie show, more so a infection disease show, and this is the aftermath of what happens. What about you, Ian?
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a zombie show at all. And you know what? I think that's actually its strength. And some people are complaining about that. I could see like, oh, where's the zombies? Where's the zombies? Where are they at? Because
Everywhere else.
everywhere else. If you played the game, you're waiting for that. And when they do show up, they show up for sure.
Mm.
But I do think that's their strength because I think at the end of the day, the moral to this story is the humans are the real virus. The humans are the real bad guys. And yeah, every time they go to a different town, it's the worst of the worst of people. And
Yeah.
that scares me more than the zombies because you know what you're expecting from them and you kind of prepare how to deal with them, but you can't really compare or like prepare for how crappy humans can be because they're strategic and they're manipulative and all that stuff. So I think that's actually the biggest strength of the show, and instead of just mindless people trying to eat you. So that's why I love this show so much. And as someone that never played the game, and I'm always
Same.
going into it this blind, and I think it's amazing writing. I like the dynamic between Joel and Ellie. I like how they grow better each episode. It went
Yeah.
from "I will kill you, kid" to "Come here, baby girl." You know,
Uh-huh.
it's
Yeah.
great. And that last episode, boy, Ellie turned into straight up what's the girl from Alien?
Ripley?
She turned
Yeah.
into Ripley. She turned into what's her name? Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
She turned. Yeah, you could put her on in my opinion, she could be on that long list of women action heroes because she handled that like a boss.
Yeah, yeah. What a great
Yeah.
episode.
Great
Yeah,
episode.
it was a
Third
phenomenal episode, and
Okay,
like
hold
that-
up. Ian, third favorite. Hit
Third
me.
favorite. So my first favorite still, I think, is episode 3. Second favorite might be episode 5.
The last episode?
No. Episode 5 was when they met the two brothers.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was a good
yeah.
episode.
So that was my second favorite, and then the third episode was the last episode where Ellie was just basically on her own.
I'm with you on third favorite episode. I'm with you on first favorite episode. My second favorite episode was the last episode where the two girls went to the mall together. Alex, do you got a ranking?
That was sweet. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good one.
wasn't up there for me though.
My first favorite would be the third episode. The second one would actually be the second episode. I actually like the second episode a little bit more than most people, and then my third would be the most recent one that we just saw.
We're really
because-
all sleeping on the first episode though, because there was some
First
wild
episode was a
shit in
very
that
good
episode.
introduction,
Yeah.
especially if you've never played the game. It was a very good
Yeah.
introduction.
It was a good introduction, but when we saw episode 3, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
that's
god!
real.
Like,
Yeah.
It just shows the psychological, like how some people will handle the situation. I understood it.
Yeah, like I was just like, "Yo, humans are we're freaking incredible, but we're scary as hell." Like,
Yeah.
oh my
Mhm.
god! Like, so
Facts.
and I think though, as the show progresses, because they're definitely going to do a season 2. I wonder how they're going to divide up that second game, because that second game is more so Ellie and not Joe, because I think Joe dies in the game. I don't know. I haven't played the game, but But yeah, so I'm curious to see how that goes. But what do you guys think? It looks like Brogy put out his rating too. He likes the 5th, the 1st, and the 8th.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad Brogy agrees with me about episode 5. Episode 5 was my emotions were going everywhere.
It was
Yep.
very good.
It was really dope. And by the way, I like Shazam too, but I'm not really anticipating Fury of the Gods just yet. I am going to
And
go see it
it's
though.
terrible. I got a free I got a screener for Shazam too, but I can't make it because I'm going to the Dominican Republic. I only got one. I wanted to give it to my mom and son, but unless my mom puts my son in her shirt, I don't know what we could do there.
He's getting too big now, dude. A couple years ago.
Big. Yeah.
Man. But yeah, what do you guys think of your most anticipated movies? What do you think about our list? And also, what did you think of the most recent episode of Last of Us? And what is your ranking of the series so far? Jump into the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts. And that will do it for today's episode of the Ask Alex Show. Man, we're definitely going to continue to do this live. I've had so much fun doing this live. So now
Me
I don't have
too.
to pre-record the thing anymore. But Ian, where can we find you on YouTube and social media?
All right, youtube.com/Ian Elliott Carter. You can find me, and I'm working on some new content. And I say that every time I'm on here, but like I've been actually taking my time, so I've been writing, and hopefully get something in there soon. And or Instagram.com/Ian Elliott Cart. And yeah, I definitely can't wait to collaborate with all three of you guys. Maybe not Brogy so much because he wants to see Aquaman 2. Ill, but
Oh wow.
I am not looking forward to that one. But other than that, yeah, man, find me on social media and my YouTube channel, man. You know, enjoying these conversations. We love it.
And Jeremy, where can we find you on YouTube and social media?
You can find me right here on Momentum Media. You can find me on the Pop Culture Nihilist. You can find me on Lucid Memory. Check out all of those channels for great content. Jeremy G. Branch on Twitter. And that's all, folks.
Awesome. And you know what to do here, guys. Support us here at Momentum Media. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also support our sponsors, Blurred Creations. Get their merch as soon as possible. And also follow us on all of social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, you guys, have a blessed day.
Yay.